Hey, how you doing? This again is one of those one-page site tutorials I'm doing, this time in Elementor. I had a lot of fun doing a fantasy one, and I've just gone and got loads of pretty amazing images, I've got to say. I mean, some of these images are just amazing from Midjourney. I put in the words like red and black foxes or whatever, you know, cyberpunk and stuff like that to get these wonderful, glorious images, and we're going to create a page like this. This is a fake website, by the way. But we're just going to show how with the power of images and be a little bit different in your layout, we can create some really funky designs, because I know people quite like seeing this. Let's just go over to our pages. We're going to create a brand new one, and I'm just going to call this one Fox, because it is red foxes in a way, you know. We go over to our page. I'm going to say hide the title and make it just be a canvas, because this is just an example page. If you had a header and a footer, you would not do what I'm doing. You would have done it a little bit more proper, I'm pretty sure. What we're going to do is we're going to have a container. Now, this container will be two child containers within. Now, I could do everything I'm going to show you right now in one container, and I am tempted to do that. However, I am probably going to be creating problems for myself later on if I did that, because what I'm going to have is an image on the right-hand side and then text on the left. So it's going to be a slightly different style hero banner than some of the ones I've created before. But I could do this and just have my text and then have my image on the right, but it could create a problem for me later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with a container that's got two child containers like that. This container is going to be a boxed, no it won't, I lie, it's going to be a full width like that. And I'm going to, from the get-go, go over to my advanced and just put everything into 000 like that. My container is already set to be a row, which is fine. I'm not fussed about wrapping at the moment. But into our very first container over here, and if I can't even click it, go to Navigator, which is great when you can't even do that. Click on my container, and I'm going to go and give this a background image. And the image I really want to go for is this image over here, and scale it to be 500 in kind of width and height. Hit back over there, and I'm going to insert that image. So that image is now in. The reason I've done that is because I wanted a pure white background. In fact, if I go to this container, I'm just going to ensure it has got a white background over there, so it just looks cleaner, basically. Okay, this image is a 500 pixel high image now, so I'm going to go to my parent container and just make that be 500 as well. I've got to go back to my container because it's not done properly, so we're going to say that it is a center right. It is a scroll. I mean, you could leave it as default if you want. There is no repeat, and we're not going to go for cover because it moves it up. We're going to go for contain. Because it's 500 high, and that's how I've set it, I'm quite happy with that. Just make sure, though, you contain. I don't need to do 0, to be honest. Just make sure that contain. Yeah, I don't need to do that, but I have as anyway. So what I have now is a hero banner whereby, because everything is white behind, and you can see here, it bleeds in quite nicely. Can you see that? You get a bit of an effect going on here, you know, with the way it breaks up and everything, but it looks, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think that looks pretty cool as a nice hero banner. Some of you are going to argue and say, well, that's huge. Look at the amount of massive white space you've got going on here. Don't worry about that. We are going to come back to that. By the way, though, I have also put a copy of the image into Canva, and here's the reason why I've done that. If I just detach this image from here for a moment, if I click here, this is now generating for me the color scheme from an image. It picks up the colors automatically. So now I'm going to start using some of these colors as my primary colors, not primary colors, global colors. So let's just go and do that before we do anything. I'm going to go over, hit publish. Go over here to site settings, go to global colors. We have already custom loaded in the Lato font. I'm going to keep using the Lato font for the purpose of this particular website at the moment. I've got loads of colors. So I've done about 7 or 8 one-page site tutorials, and I just keep keeping the colors in there in case I need to reuse the images. Anyway, let's just go in and add in a color. So the first color I'm going to get is this one over here. So let's just collect that hex code. Let's pop it in. It's always a good idea to do this whenever you build a website, because if you don't get your color scheme in place, you are going to hate it later on when you are trying to basically make your images and your website kind of make sense. Oh, did I just put the wrong color in then? There we go. And I'm just going to pick up one more color, which will be this kind of tangy. I mean, it's not. You see that color there? It's. I don't even know what to call it. It's like plums stuck in the bin. You thought I was going to say something else. Plums stuck in the bin. You know. If you thought I was going to say something else, that's your problem. So I've got some 3 key colors over there, but I must say this one here, I think if we go back to that color there, let's just click that there. I think I need to have it a little bit more brighter like that if I'm going to have like a bit of a brighter button. So let's just pick that one up as well and drop that in. Sorry if this feels like I'm just talking. I'm not. I'm just going through a process of how I'm building this out. So there's my 4 key colors over there. Let's just hit update. If you haven't done it already, after your custom loaded fonts into Elementor, make sure you go to your global fonts and go and set your font in there. All of these are going to be Lato. Right, let's now get into here. Into here, we are going to drop in a header like that, and I'm just going to go and create some words. Now, I am going to show you a pretty cool website called TinyWow over here, tinywow.com. This has got so many free tools. You never have to sign up. You're not overloaded with adverts or anything like that. If I go to AI Write and I go to Paragraph Writer here, when you click it, I'm going to go and create a topic. So we're going to call it, just popped in some words like the War of the Foxes. And, you know, I could go with witty or bold. I'm going to go with bold, because this is like, you know, the image there just kind of says, hey, let's go for something bold. That's going to go and generate something. So we'll return, ignore that. We'll return back to this after it has generated. So we've got a bit of text over here. While we're waiting for the wording, I'm going to go for, we'll go for that color over there. So it kind of blends in a little bit. In terms of our typography, I'm going to make it all be uppercase. I'm going to go with REM5. No, I think we go with 6. I think we can go with 6 over there. And I'm going to go with thick. I don't think I can go any higher, in fact, because the Lato, the fonts I loaded, only goes up to 700. No, only goes up to 600. Yeah, 600. Sorry. See what I mean? I'm just making this up as I go along. Let's go back over to our TinyWow thing, which is over here. This has now generated a paragraph of text for completely free. The war demand demands its clans unite. All right. In fact, you know what? We'll take that one there. We'll pop it in here like that. And I'm going to say the War of the Foxes demands. The War of the Foxes demands its clans unite in order to survive. Now, that feels a little bit like more like a subheader. So I'm now going to change my mind, okay? I am now just going to go over here, put this into default like that. The War demands its clans unite in order to survive. I'm going to make this be about a 3 like that. I'm also going to drop this down to be about a 500. And I'm going to make this be a dark font, but it's not going to be completely dark. It's going to be that text over there, which is 222222. I'm going to just duplicate that now, and I'm going to go and pick in some different text. I felt that one was kind of slightly over dramatic in a way. Conflict is emerging to survive. We need you to protect the fortress. We need you to protect the fortress. There we go. That's what we'll go. We need you to protect the fortress. Okay. Again, we're just having a bit of fun here, right? So we need you to protect the fortress. We're going to pop this back over to be the 700 one. We're going to go for a 5 over there. And the color for this will now be that color that we had before, which was that one over there. We're just going to rearrange the items to pop this above like that. We're going to go to our child container. Sorry, parent container. And I'm going to put this into the mid. Oh, hold on. Why did that container go like that? Oh, of course, yes. Sorry. Stretch. Right. I hit the wrong one. Align items. It's not that one. Sorry. Go to my parent container, leave everything as aligned, go to the child container, and now I'm going to pop that in the middle. Sorry, my mistake. I hit the wrong one. Parent container, I'm leaving everything as stretched. The child container, this is where I'm now going to just do a little bit the layout like that. We need you, blah, 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 blah. Now, one of the things, though, is that this is a boxed width. Sorry, a full width. So what happens is when you do that, the wording shoots all the way over to the left, and it looks it just doesn't look right. Okay, it just does not look good at all. So I am now going to go over to the child container here, and this is where I can start to now have a think about, well, where is the positioning of it? So on the first child container, I'm going to give this some left margin of about 50, something like that. Now, again, there's a lot of white going on here, but bear in mind, though, at the top here, we might have gone and added in like a menu system. In fact, we probably should do that because we haven't added it in already. So let's pretend there's a menu as well. Let me just go in and drop in another container like down here. And we are going to rearrange it. Let me just make this be a full width as well. And I'm just going to go over to my advanced layout and give this 150 as well. So in terms of, oh, sorry, wrong one, not there. Get rid of that. Padding of 150, so when the contents drop in, it will look okay. I'm just going to drop in a header like this. I'm going to call it War Fox. I'm not being very clever with my names here today, am I? But anyway, look, let me make it uppercase, and I'm going to make this be an REM, and I think 2 might work okay there. You might have dropped in an image or a logo or something like that, and then also into here, we're just going to drop in a fake nav menu. I say fake, it's just a nav menu, by the way. Let me just drop it in like that. I'm not sure I've got any good ones on here I can use. Did you see the word get lost appear there? Because that was literally me just messing around. Look, some of these aren't even real anymore. Look, let's just go with this one for now, okay? It's not real. Just let it go, okay? I'm just showing you a potential layout. This, again, is Lato, and I'm going to make this be 1.5 like that, and I'm going to make it go back to be a little bit thinner like that. This is a container where everything is currently underneath one another. Let's go back to the container, set it to be a row like that. Let's ensure all the items are in the middle and everything is actually on the start. I'm not going to do space between because then otherwise the words start to creep over what we have here. So I'm just going to go with something like this, and I'm just going to double check now the layout here. I think we can get away with about 15. 20 looked a bit too much. In fact, that doesn't even look good like that. I think 17 does look a little bit better. Right, this container now, we're just going to move to be above the other one like that. This container we're going to give go to advanced and give it a Z index of 2, so it's kind of in front. And what I'm going to do is I'm now just going to do a bit of bottom like that until we get to the top like that. Okay, that should be enough. There we go. So what we now have is, by the way, you could have done this all within here. I could have done. I've done it separately because it makes it easier for me to manage when I start to add in other items. Now, I must say, I hate underline. I really hate underline. I don't like it, but I'm going to let it go over here. So all we've done very basically is, well, you can see what we've done, right? There's nothing, it's just quite basic at the moment. What we're now going to do is drop in a button as well. So we'll have in a button over here, which, funnily enough, already kind of picks up some of the color schemes we're going for, but it's not the right ones. Let me just scroll down and get that much brighter, richer color, which I think works a whole lot better in my opinion. We'll have a click here. I'm going to give this a bit more spacing away from the top over there. And what I'm also going to do is duplicate that button. Bear with me in a moment. This is all going to make sense. Imagine this button was going somewhere. Okay, we might do something like that. But I want the buttons to be side by side. Imagine these buttons were going towards services or another page or, I don't know, wherever you're going. What we're now going to do is go over to our container. And we're going to go to, the child container. And we are now going to set this to be a row. And this happens. Oh my God, panic stations. No, don't panic. We then hit wrap. Okay, now when I do wrap, basically it just kind of wraps like that, basically, and it's looking a little bit odd. So let me now just hit start. So everything is now at the start, and luckily everything currently sits side by side. Now there might have been a point where you didn't actually get it like this, and it might have been that the container still sat below. If that ever happens, all you've got to do is just go into the button and maybe just go and adjust the width of it. So look, if I do this, you can see what it now starts to push the button across. I can get rid of that because it's automatically done it. Or it might have been that, say, this heading over here, if this had a custom width of, say, something like that, can you see how the buttons now go side by side? It's not until, look, as I shrink it, we now have just one button. As I push even more, the next button has gone over. So if that ever happens, you might just need to adjust some of the width. So let's just have a look at how this is currently looking at the moment. The war of the fox demands its clans unite in order to survive. I think we can add a bit more text in, don't you? I think we should. By joining forces, the conflict is emerging. I'm going to see some further details. So remember that this has got 150 over here. If we start to add anything else, then we might want to think about the 150 again. So I'm just going to shrink this down, and I'm now going to add in a container, which will be set as a row. This is a full width as well. However, we're going to go in here and just pop this to be 150, and we'll go with a 150 here as well. In fact, not 150 like that. That's wrong. We'll go with 150 there and 150. So as I add in the items, they will nicely sit inside of this area. This next section that we've got, I've just noticed there's a gap there. Is there a gap there? Sorry, I've just noticed there's a gap there. Let me just go to this container. That should be 0, 0. That should also be 0, 0. And that should be bottom and nothing from the left. I'll know in a moment because this is going to have a bit of a background color anyway. We're going to add in a little bit of grey like that. Just need to double check. Oh, there's nothing in it. We'll come back to that in a moment. We'll come back to that. Let's now just pop in a image box like this. So we've got an image over here. We got an image over here. We got image number 2 and we got image number 3. Now the ones I did like these ones here, but can you see we got a lot of gradient? So I'm going to have to go for this one here, maybe this one, and maybe that one, maybe one of these, maybe 3 of these as well. So let me just pick this one here. What I'm going to have to do is first edit this image, hit a crop, and I'm going to have to just crop it to basically be something like that. Let's hit crop. That image is currently a 1024 by 124. Again, you'd scale it, okay? You'd have scaled this to be maybe, I don't know, 300 or 400 in width, okay? But I'm just going to go with this at the moment. So we have an image there. Let's just hit X on there. I'm now going to go here and pick this image. No, not that one. I'm going to pick this. I'm going to pick this image over here. So we're just going to hit edit image, and I'm going to hit crop, and I'm just going to crop it out. I mean, if I decide I want another image, I could hit restore, or let me just make sure I get that right. Crop and crop, that's 1024, 1024 as well. I am going to make these consistent, by the way, okay, in a moment. I could just reload the images in again, and then from here, I'm going to take... I've got that one, that one. I'm going to take that one or that one. Which one? Which one? I think we'll go with this one here because it looks a little bit sinister, doesn't it, with the red eyes? Let's just crop that. If you're getting bored, I'm really sorry, but it's just because I'm just doing this in the way I like to do things. I think that's about right. Let's just crop that. Let's just save that as well. So what I'm now going to do is just basically scale all these images. So at the minute this is 504 by 5. I'm going to make it be 500 scale. I'm going to go over here and edit this image and make this one be 500 scale as well. And I'm going to go over here and make this one be hold on. This one is not scaling very well. It's not a square. So let me just scale it to be 500. No, that was higher. Let me go 500 there. Scale. like that. Let me hit the back button. That is 500 by 500, that's 500. That one is a little bit bigger. Let's hit the edit image. I'm really sorry, you know, please stay with me on this because it will all make sense. No, it's not the width. It's not the width. That was wrong. Cancel. It's not the width. It was the height where we had too much. So I'm just going to just narrow this down now to be 500 by 500. I've lost a pixel, which I'm a little bit annoyed about there because I went and clicked it more than I should have. But I'm just going to go with something like that. Hit crop, save. I'll accept the fact it's just 1 pixel either side. I'm not going to lose major sleep over that. Right. So let me just hit update and then hit refresh. This will all come together, all right? And there will be another video that comes out where I fly through it at a much quicker rate, so you don't have to sit here watching me wobbling on. So let's now go and pick our images. So I've got I'm going to pick that one first. Notice the layout of my images. Facing left, center, facing right. So if you think about your images, you can be quite clever with what you go for. But then again, maybe I want to have facing in, facing out, facing in. I think facing out works better. We'll go with facing out like that. The wording we're going to have over here is we're going to say clan 1 like that, and then you could have some wording. So I'm just going to go over here, and this is the point now where I just use lorem ipsum. Okay, so I'm just going to go here and just go lorem, come on, lorem, there we go, lorem ipsum generator. Tiny wow's great. Okay, so let's just generate 100 words. I don't really care, just give me 100 words, and I'm just going to pick up to there. Let's just pop the words in, something like that. You can see the words, not very clear at all. Don't worry about that. Let's go over to our style. We will make our image be rounded. I'm just going to have to go for 1,000 so we get a proper rounded effect going on there. Some of the images are going to bleed out a bit, but, you know, I'll just have to just accept that. We're going to go with our content. We'll go with our typography. This is the default, which is using Lato. This is going to be an REM, and I'm going to go for 2.7. What did we have over here? We had 2.7, so 2.7 there. We will make this be, come on, get it right, content. This will be 2.7. It is the, we're going to go for a 6, like 6.5. I've just realised I've got the wrong font in there. This should be about 400, I think. Nah, 400. I'm just looking at this and I'm feeling like that works better. No, 400. Go back to 400 for that. Leave that as 4. 400 looks really big, doesn't it? Anyway, 400, back over here. Make the content here be 400 as well. Transform, we will make this be uppercase. Uppercase? No, we'll go with default. And then the body that we have here, just make a bit of spacing of about 15, I think works well. And the text we will go for, in fact, that's the wrong color text as well. I want to go with the 222, and this text as well will be, it's not going to be the 222, but it is going to be a slightly darker one, which, no, it's going to be a charcoaly color. No, we'll go with 200 like that. We'll leave this one as a REM of 1.6 like that. It's going to be default like that, and it will be light. It's weird, isn't it? That 400 looks really, really big, but it kind of works. It kind of works. That is Lato. The letter spacing is way too close for my liking there. And let me just go to the content and pop this as lorem, like that. Okay. Yeah, kind of okay. Kind of okay. Right, let me now just adjust the size of this. The spacing of this is 35%. Let me just go with 100%. Let me just go with 100%. Humor me for a moment, okay? Just humor me for a moment, because this is going to be a lot smaller. I've just got to adjust the padding for this, because from the top I want about, no, more than that. I want about 40. 40 from the bottom, and from the left and right we're going to go with about 20, something like that. Now what I'm going to do is just duplicate and duplicate, and here's where I now get to think about the sizing. The whole point of this is that when you're looking at this on a full screen like this, these and the words should be clearly visible. Okay, clearly visible. And this is where I start to go, have I got too much going on here? Is this going to now look a bit too cramped up? My text ain't right, is it? Did no one notice that? You should have told me if you noticed that. The text needs to be, just make that white there. I'm going to leave the text as it is for now. I'm not going to make it. No, actually, I think uppercase would be better. Uppercase would be better, yeah. I find that, you know, when you have your very first call to action, uppercase just jumps out at you more, like, hey, click me, come and get it, kind of thing, right? So we can clearly see here that the images now are just too big, really, really huge and really, really quite big. And if I want to have this text on here, these images have to be a lot smaller. So it's almost like the images have to be almost a third of the size. Are you going to lose the effect? Well, let's say you were thinking, right, this is going to lose the effect. This is where I would then say, right, just go back and reflect on the main container over here, right, that you've currently got. Is that too tall? So let me just go to one of the child containers, which is the image one, which has a height of 500. If I shrink this down, everything else starts to shrink. So what if I was to go with a 400 height? Now things look really, really cramped, right? So 400's too big, too small. Let's go with a 450. How does that look? Again, though, the words seem to be a bit far from the image, more than I really want them to be. However, we have a little bit more estate. So I'm going to now change this to be 475. Seriously, I'm making this up as I go along. I'm going to go with a 475, okay? I'm now going to go to this container that we had below, and I'm going to shrink the spacing. I'm going to bring things inwards a little bit. So we're going to go with a 250 and a 250 like that. As soon as I do that, the images have now shrunk down and we can see them a little bit more. However, I think it definitely needs to be smaller. So we're going to go to the box now. And I'm going to say, give me about 60 and 60 over there. And we'll just copy, paste style like this. From the top, I did that wrong. I did that so wrong. All right, that actually needs to be smaller, not 40 to 60. I'm going to go with 30 and 30. And over here, we're going to go 40, 40 like that. We'll copy that, paste style and paste style. And just see what do we now get. So we can now see the wording is starting to appear there. But again, the images just looks a bit too big. So let's go to the style. This is currently set to be 100%. Let's change it to be 75%. In fact, we are also going to shrink down the, we'll go with 5 pixels there. And when we go for the content, we should shrink that down to be about 10. Don't want to have it too close. Let's just copy that, paste style, and have a look there. Now, what this also kind of tells you is maybe you need to just rethink your wording. How much wording would you have on here in the first place? So we can clearly see that consecutor is kind of enough wording. All right, so let's just go to consecutor. Maybe you don't need to say so much, and you might go, well, you're just adjusting it now to work for you. Well, yeah, so what? Right? Seriously, so what? I'm making it work for me, okay? And when we look at this now, that is the sizing. Now, one of the things about using boxed whips and stuff like this is you can then end up being caught out by how big your screen is, okay? So rather than me going here and just going on a full width, wouldn't it have been better if I just went with a boxed width and we went for something like 800 maybe, like that? Because now I can clearly see what's going on, and I can see here 800's like too small. Then the problem you have with this is, because this is now all fitting and looking okay, the problem you then have is there's a bit of a gap here. You probably can't see it, but there's a tiny gap just down here. And this is where you rethink your layout. If anyone's getting annoyed with this, just go with it, all right? This container we set to 475, okay? I'm now going to say we ditch that and go with a VH, right? So if I was to go with a VH50, which is a bit too small, if I go with a VH60 even, how does that look? That kind of looks okay. And we are back to where we were before, believe it or not. So I'm now going to go to this new container. I'm going to say, well, make this be a VH of 40. And when we now view that, that is now perfectly in height. So we've gone 60-40. So on purpose, and I'm telling you now, I do a lot of this on purpose. I'm showing you how we sometimes build things. Oh yeah, we'll do that, we'll do that. Then when you start to kind of elaborate and go, well, I want to show a bit more on the screen and I want to do a bit more funkier layout or something. This is where you really have to take a bit of a stop and a think about, well, is it gonna work? Now, the spacing here does kind of work for me, but the images don't. So let's just change it, okay? Let's go with the middle one here, and we're going to call this Clan 2. I could have used some really funky names, right, but I haven't. And let's just go with this one over here, and we're going to call this one Clan 3. So we just update that and view this now. It's... Can you imagine landing on a page with a very... I mean, that is a really sexy image, okay? That is like, mwah, right? And we've spent a lot of time. I'm really sorry. We spent a lot of time on it. But that is just a really nice image. A couple of buttons. A couple of text over here. I mean, I would even be tempted to say that text needs to be pushed down a bit. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, make that be 30. And the buttons that we had over here, I'm going to say make those be 0. Yeah, we'll go with a 0 there. Let's just get rid of that. Get rid of that like that. Because I feel like... So this heading I'm going to make be 20 there, just increasing the spaces. And the button here, I'm going to give it about 10. They were 30 before. I'm going to say give me about 10 there. So we have something just a little bit like that. So it's the subtext there, the subtitle has quite a few words in there. Conflicts emerging as Fox factions battle. I'm going to say get rid of the word various as well. Why have we got the word various? Whenever you look at your wording, you know, try and make it punchy as Fox factions, battle for territory and resources. Clans must grow in strength in order that. There we go. You know, something like that. And then you got this nice little thing below. You know, we're very much used to doing full banner, full screen hero banners. And then the services come next. This could work for you. Of course, when you get to the mobile, and we're not doing the mobile layout here, but when you get to mobile, this would be what you have above the fold. This would come below the fold as you scroll down the mobile. So because this is 2 containers, and here's the reason I said do it as 2 containers, you could now decide on, are you going to have the image? Well, look, let me show you, okay? You could, when you get to your, like, this layout, you're going to adjust it. So let's just modify our container. Remember, there's a nav menu in here. You would have styled it. We then go to our other container here. Oh, sorry, this one here. We're going to just zero everything out. You've got your image down here. You would now decide on, are you going to flip it? So if we go to responsive mode here, not responsive mode, sorry, wrong one. Sorry, go to the child container. You would then go, right, are we going to flip it? So, and then you would modify the size of your words. You would also modify the size of this container. So at the moment, you know, you might go with VH 40, for instance. So with this container, you might go, right, okay, we're going to make this be a height of 40, for instance. And, you know, you might adjust it again. You know, I mean, bear in mind, there's quite a bit of white going on there and it's not completely centered. So that might change the way that you decide to stylize it and all of that. But then this child container here, you might go, right, the VH of that is going to be 60. And then you would adjust the sizing of the wording. You know, you're going to go, right, we can't have a 5 there. We're going to go with a 3. You put in your padding. You adjust everything to look the right way. But you don't have to worry about what you do there, because when you get to your desktop, everything is looking okay. And it fits and looks, I think that looks pretty nice. I don't know about you, but I think it looks, I don't know. It is very, very flipping effing different. All right. I'm just going to double check something over here for the image. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. Let's now move on to the next section that we're going to, or the next container even that we're going to have below. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up our second container. In fact, we'll pop this, we'll just change this to be clans. This will be the hero, and this is going to be the header, like that. We're going to pick up the hero, and we're going to duplicate that. I'm going to then pop it below the clans like this. So it's down here. And the reason I do that is if you've made it perfect now, if you've sorted out your margins and your padding and all of your wording in there, and you've done it for the tablet and you've done it for the mobile, why would you want to start again? Just pick up something you've already done. Now I'm going to go over to this container here, and I'm now going to just change the background image, and we're going to go for, I mean, the images here are ridiculously crazy. I mean, these images, I could just, I think I could stare at these images all bloody day long. In fact, we're not going to do that. I've had a change of mind. I've had a change of mind. We are going to actually ditch that one over there, and we are now going to go for a full width image that will now come in, because I don't want to have too much repetitions. We're going to break it up a bit. I have got some amazing images here, right? And it's just like, I mean, I could literally just sit here staring at these images all day long and say to all of you, go away, just leave me alone, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to go for this image here, which is a 1536 by 1024. Midjourney isn't great at giving you like full landscape images. I do have to play around with it a bit more, but let's just go with this one for now. I'm going to make this be a center, not center. It's going to be a top center. It's going to be a scroll. There'll be no repeat, and it's going to, now look, we could go with contain, but it looks really, really odd because of the width of it. We could go with cover. The only drawback to the cover is it might start to cut some of the characters off. So far, it's not doing that. So if I go to this main container that we have at the moment here, I'm just going to double check. What happens if I make this be a 100 VH? That looks pretty good, actually. That does look pretty bloody damnish, smashy, washy good. Is that, or is that not a wicked image? Are you kidding me if you're not liking that image? Now, inside of here, we have a container with some text, and what I'm going to do now is go to my, I'm actually going to get rid of the button. I'm going to get rid of the, no, will we have another call to action? No, we're going to get rid of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this text over here, but I'm going to make it white. I'm going to just stick in some lorem ipsum. I don't know, let's just go with that consecutor one as well. What, does anyone even understand these words? If you understand the words, please let us know. We would love to know what these words mean. I'm going to make this be about a 3 like that. And the heading we have here, we're going to make that be a white as well. It kind of works for me. It kind of works for me. But this container, the wording that we have in here is going to be, oh, sorry, no, it's need to leave it as stretch. So the wording for this container, I'm now going to hit end. And when I do that, it actually goes bang on to the bottom. But don't worry about that. I'm just going to go over to my advanced, and I'm going to say, now it's at the bottom in the container. I'm going to leave it at 150 because that's okay with me. And I'm now just going to double this up. I think 100, yeah, 100's too high. What about 50? Yeah, okay, we'll go with a 50 there just to increase it up a little bit. And if we now view this, ooh, that's too much. That's too much. Right, let me just adjust my image. If I go to the style, not the banner, it's on the here. Sorry, I've got to rename this, haven't I? So this will be... let's just call it container. Okay, no, let's just call it section. All right, because it doesn't really have a name because there's no real word on there. This section, if we go to the image over here, I'm going to make this be center. In fact, I think it needs to be bottom center because I bet center, yeah, no, center works okay, actually. Bottom center might have been pushing up a bit too much. And I mean, this is, again, the power of the image. The image makes this pop like that. It's popping all over the place right now. Okay, now my next section, I've got a bit of a plan written down here, is going to be a little bit of a copy of what we had above. But this time we'll have loads more text coming in. So now I'm going to duplicate my... In fact, I could just duplicate what I've got here. I could just duplicate what we've got here. So I'm going to duplicate this. So where... No, wrong container, not the container. I'm going to duplicate the section like that. And then below, we're going to have another image. Okay, so we're going to pop in another image. And I'm going to go for a cityscape one. You know, again, look, these are the power of the images that you can get from... basically, what am I saying? I can't even think what I'm saying now. From Midjourney is just ludicrous. It is ludicrous what you can get here. So we're going to pop in this image here. So it's, again, it kind of it continues the theme, but I would say that I'm going to go with a fixed approach. So now we have a parallax effect going on like that. But I am going to add in a background overlay. The background overlay is going to be a black color like that. And I'm going to make it be about, you know, I'm just going to make it be quite black, really. I don't want to go too black. And I'm looking at the words at the bottom. How far can I go before it starts to look a bit weird? Do you know, I mean, you could argue that you can almost read the words there, but... Believe me, it's going to look a bit odd eventually, but I'm going to go with something like that. Okay, so we get a bit of a real dark. You go from a bright image to a slightly darker one. Over here, we have a container. This container has some padding at the bottom. Let's get rid of the padding like that. Go to the layout, and I'm now going to pop this to be in the center. So before it was at the bottom or the end, it's now gone into the center. Again, we'll have some wording in here. Now, what I will now do, though, is drop in another container. In fact, I'm just going to duplicate it. So we have another container sat here. This container has got 150. Let's get rid of the 150. Let's get rid of the headings that we have in there at the moment. This the container with the text, and I am being a bit lazy here because I'm just duplicating headers. Really, what you want to be using is like text as well. So don't just get lazy and use heading. I was lazy there, thing like that. And I'm actually going to go all the way back up to my hero banner, and one of these buttons, I'm just going to copy it like that one, that button then. I'm just going to paste it over here just so we get another button at the bottom again. Again, I'm just, you know, doing some funky layouts. Now, in container number 2, we don't actually have anything at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get a image like that. I'm going to drop an image in there. I'm going to leave it as full. And what I'm now going to do is pick one of these images. And, you know, you can be quite creative. I could pick any one of these images. I've already picked that one. I could pick, I mean, this is a pretty nasty one here with someone shouting. You know, that looks pretty crazy, that image. I quite like this one here. I don't know if you can see it properly, but I'm going to edit it. I'm going to scale it to be about... In fact, I won't scale it. Sometimes it's better to scale it after you've decided what your image is. What I'm going to do instead is crop it. And I'm going to go with something like that. And I'm just going to crop out a little bit here as well. So we're going to go with something like that. We're just going to crop it, save it, and insert that image. So I'm just going to make this image be a bit narrower. I could just go with like 75% of the width of the container like that. And I'm just going to give it a bit of a box shadow so we have a shadow there. And if we now view that, 75% is too big. 75% is way too big. Let's go with a 60 like that. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks pretty nice. That does okay with the style of it. You can see the wording. Look, everything is nicely in line at the moment with that line going on there, and that is in the middle. Right, let us continue. Again, you would adjust this for the mobile. So this, we got section. Now we have over here the clans. I'm going to duplicate the clans, right? And I'm going to move the clan one to be below down over here. And this now, okay, is we have image going on like that. I'm going to go and pick up one of the headings. So one of these headings from here, in fact, this one over here, I'm just going to duplicate that. And I'm going to move it to be inside of the clan area like that. So if we go down here now, we have this. But what I want is for this to be above these items over here. This is where we get a little bit clever. First, let's change the style of the wording for this text over here. And we're going to change it to be that black over there. Let's just change the words to be... choose your weapons. Choose your weapons. Choose your weapons. Select your weapons. Choose your weapon. Choose your weapons. Choose your weapons. What should we go for? Choose your weapons. Anyway, let's just put it in the center like that. Let's go back over to the container, right? This is currently set as a row. When I hit wrap, watch what happens. That's now wrapped. However, now everything has gone below. Right, let me just go over to this container for a moment. Let me just put everything to be in the center like that. This container, if we go back over here to advanced, has got 250 on the left and 250 on the right, and it is currently 900 in width. But these items, because I've wrapped it, now they've all gone below. I could have gone over to my container here, right? Dropped in another child container and put all of my image boxes into there, had them side by side, and had my header, or whatever I call it, above. I could have done that. But I just want to show you, again, the flexibility you have with Flexbox container. Let's just change this to be weapons so we know what we're doing. I'm now going to go over to this image box that we currently have. I am going to go to the sorry, let me get this right. I'm now going to go to the image box and I'm going to go to the width, and I'm now going to set this to be a custom, and I'm going to go with 33.3, and I'm going to do the same. In fact, let me just copy it. Let me go like that, paste style, and let me go with paste style again. Now these two are side by side, but this one has gone over here because we have not set the width for that. So let's just go in and I'm going to say make that be full width, and as soon as we've done that, it's now started to go side by side, except it hasn't gone side by side. So this is where you might want to now just change your items. So I'm going to go with 33%, paste style, and if we go paste style, I've now made each of these be 30%. Now, believe me, you're going to be looking at this and going, well, why did it not work with the 33 and the 33? Sometimes it can literally be something like this, the gap between. When I eliminate that, sorry, by the way, by making them 30-30, they sit side by side, and it does look okay before you say the words are scrunched up, right? If I was to, however, get rid of that gap there, and now I make these be 33.3, right? Technically, it should work. I'm hoping it works. Technically, it should work, right? There you go, look, 33.3. So bear in mind that when you do it mathematically, you go, well, 33.3, it should work. But it's because your container contains this gap, a default of 20. So by setting it to 0, it now looks okay. I am just going to make a bit of a gap on this entire container, though. We are going to go with about 40 like that, and I'll do the 40 there. It's not as big as what you had here. I get that. But, this was done for a certain reason to fit what we had. And you could almost argue that maybe if you were to make this entire section be white, like that. In fact, I am now wondering, do we need to have a gradient? Does it look better with white? My only issue I have is that hard line that we have over there. We have a really hard line here, which slightly knocks me a little bit, if I'm honest. And I feel like it does look better with the grey. The white there breathes a bit more, but I think the grey just helps to blend it, or give the distinction between what we're doing. Anyway, look, we now have choose your weapons, and this is where now I'm very quickly just going to go and grab some weapons. Like again, let's just go to our media library just to show you what we got. We got a sword over there. We got, I mean, this is like proper, like, you know, Gears of War kind of style. That's a great one. I'm going to go for that one. 1, 2, that one. They don't really look like weapons, do they? And we'll go for that one there as well. So I'm going to go with that, that and that. Yeah, that and that. And the first, sorry, I had to have a think there. So I need to get a duplicate of this one, which is Fox 31. Right, let me just add Fox 31. This is where naming your images can help you, all right? So you know what you're doing. So we've got Fox 31. These are all WebP, by the way. Let's just crop this to go. We'll take that image over there. Just crop that a little bit like that. Crop that. Save. Right, so we got the bottom gun. We also need the top gun. See what I did there? We need the top gun. Anyway, let's crop that as well. There is so much fun you can have when you start to do websites like this where you are just having a laugh. And I really wish we had more websites like this to play around with. So we got gun, and the last one was I was going to go for a sword, wasn't I? And I'm going to go for that bottom one over there. You know, it's a weapon. You know, it's a weapon. Dangerous weapons. Do not play with any of these weapons. They will hurt you seriously. Right, so we've done that. Right, let's crop. Right, now we just got to go in, and this image is a 509 by 509. Let's just scale it to be 500. Scale that. Let's go and find the next image over here. Edit. Ooh, it's not completely. If I make that be 500 scale, come out of it. You always got to come out of it and go back in, otherwise it doesn't remember that you scaled it. Let's now crop it, and we're going to go with 500 by 500 like that. That should do it. Scale, save like that. Come out of that, and then the last one, edit that. Ooh, that's not on target. Ooh, yeah. It's not gonna like it because it's a higher. Damn it. Let me just hit edit image. Let me just restore the original one. Here's the beauty though. You restore the image, you just go in and crop it again. So let me just get that image like that. I took off too much height. Let me get the width right. There we go. Crop that. Save that. No, it's done it again. You know what? Just go with it, right? Because I'm going to size it up anyway, aren't I? So let me just edit the image. And let me just go with crop. And we'll go with 491. 491. Don't lose sleep. Because these are just miniature little images anyway. Crop it, save it. Right, cool. Now we go back over to our page. And make sure you hit update. Otherwise, it won't bring it over. Let's go for, see what I mean? It's not brought it over. Paste, refresh your page. You sometimes have to do that. Otherwise, it won't bring over what you want. I am now in the wrong one. I needed to be over here. I nearly changed the wrong one then. So let me decide now. We'll go for a right-sided image like a gun like that. This one will change to be that one. And this one will change to be the sword. Like that. We're just having fun, right? We're just having fun, and we would call this, we'll call it shooter. We'll call this one blade, and we'll call this one launcher. Launcher, maybe, yeah, we'll go with launcher, like that, right? Isn't this fun? If you're not having fun when you're watching this, then go away. I don't really care, right? Now I'm just going to add in, I'm going to actually copy this entire section that we got here, and I'm going to paste again one over here. Let's just pick a completely different background image now. I'm I mean, there are some amazing, or wonderful images here. You know, like I've got one of families, like people just sat, you know, contact us. I quite like this one here where it's like almost like someone is watching over here. So I'm going to pop this one here like that. I'm going to change this to say subscribe, maybe something like that. I'm going to get rid of this box over here so everything is pushed down a little bit. I'm going to get rid of that. We'll have some lorem ipsum, maybe some wording. We'll go and get some social sharing icons as well. You know, if you want to, you can do. We'll just pop them on the left side like that. We'll make, not the, sorry, I made the spies a bit too small there. We'll add in some spacing there. We'll have some custom color. The primary color will be that really bright orange, I think, that we got over there. Border radius, just make, I don't know. You can do rounded if you want. I'll just do it there as well. 1,000, like that. We'll get rid of this image and we'll just stick in a form. Like over here, that form is way too wide. The button we'll have on the left-hand side like that. In fact, no, everything seems to be left aligned, so we'll go with a left aligned button. Change the style of the button. Look, I'm going to add some padding, though, onto this container. You probably said, well, it didn't do anything. What it does is just create a bit of breathing space. In fact, it's not really done much. I need to do a load more than that. Let's go with 200. Yeah, that's better there like that. And then we've got this nice little scrolling effect coming on over here. I think the background overlay that we got here is richer than it needs to be, so I'm going to drop that. Look, you can almost go like that and it looks all right, but I think we need to have some, so I'll go with 20 there. There is loads more that you could add onto here, right? I mean, I could, if I want, drop in, I could now add in another container. This is the final thing we're going to do, by the way. I'm just going to drop in another container, which will be, no, hold on, let me think about this. Yeah, we're going to drop in another container. This is just going to be a image gallery. Where's the gallery one? Gallery. We'll go with that gallery for now. And I'm going to go and pick basically a load of images. I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to pick that one. That one. We used that one. I'm going to go with that one as well. We're going to go for this image. We're going to go for that image. We're going to go for that. 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 And we are going to go for, you could even go for some civilization ones as well, right? Why not? Right, we'll go for that one as well. And bloody hell, I've got loads here. Like, oh man, the amount of fun. I mean, this has got to be the most exciting bunch of images I think I've ever loaded into any website. Like, what about 5? Is 5 too much? 5 actually fits. No, 5 doesn't fit. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, well, 5, 10, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19. Ooh, we're going to have to lose an image. I think we can lose this image here. Let's get rid of that image. We need to lose one. Yeah, go away. Insert gallery. So now we have got 5, 10, 15, 18. Oh, 18, I can't divide. 18's not really, so I need to have 16 if I go with a 4x4. So right, I've got to get rid of 2 images. Oh, this is painful, isn't it? Let's get rid of that one. The scenery, maybe, yeah, let's get rid of the scenery as well. There we go. So we got 16 now. We can go with a grid of 4 like that. We're going to have 0 spacing. Yeah, I mean, the grid is a layout. Justified is not really going to make much difference. Masonry doesn't make much difference either. So we're just going to go with a grid. This has got 0, 0. This entire section as well has got 0, 0 like that. How does that... Ooh, problem. That now does not look so good, I think, because it's not stretching. So let's just go over here. We have a full width like that. And this you could be tempted in saying is major overkill. And I think it is overkill that we've got going on right now. So I'm going to have to give in a bit of a break over here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a container like that. I'm going to make it be a black color like that. It's not full on. No, we'll make it full on black. Full on black. I'm just going to pick the word over here, copy that, paste that in there, make that in the center. Give this a bit of padding of about 60, something like that, which I think is a bit too big. We'll go 40. Again, adjust everything for your mobile. And we're going to change this war where the fight starts now. Pop now, like that. So we have a bit of a break there. I'm going to copy that. And I am tempted to add in a break, maybe here, maybe. Where did that go? Did I not paste it? Where did that go? Oh, man. It's not meant to go there, is it? It's not meant to go there, sir, Sonny Jim. It's meant to go here. No, here. Let me just think about this. Do we put it in here? Because I quite like the way it blended into there. All right, for some reason it's jumping down to the bottom. Let's just. I've stopped doing my wording, as you can tell here. I'm not really fussed. Let's just pick it up and put it above that over there. Let's just see how that looks. You scroll and then you get to there. Who will win? Who will win? No, you lead the war. Lead the war. Lead the war. Right. Let's just now view this literally on a preview page, okay? And I'm going to shrink myself down quite a bit to be something like that. So I'm just there. Hello, I'm still here. Okay, so let's just see how this looks. I don't know about you, but it's... I mean, it's like a full page, right? Oh, sorry, my page is not full width. Sorry. The reason why this does not look good is because it's got the header at the top. So let me just come out of preview and let me just go to a private window because it's gonna look better like that on the full. So there we go. Okay. So now look, that's full height. You know, you got your items at the top. Everything is very left aligned, but then you got these nice images. You know, it leads you in. Lead the war. You know, lead the war, and then you get this look. I mean, that is a flipping rich image. Okay, I could stare at that all day long. Like, is that a fur scarf he's got on, or is it just his mane? I don't know. What texture? Midjourney at its finest, right? We get a nice image over there with a button. Choose your weapons. You know, I mean, I would probably take the lazy load off all of this. You know. And you got all these. This, I mean, God damn it! Just look at it. Just look at the intensity on all of that. And oh yeah, by the way, some of these had weird headers. Like some of them, were just called Fox 2 or Fox 1 or whatever. But some of them, I just went full scale on the imagery there with stuff. And then you get down to the fight starts now, and you got your subscribe little bit there. Come along, join in. And I think that's a convenient image. And you see the background we got here. It fits in, it's not too far off this kind of like this cityscape that we've got going on there. And I think, what can I say? There will be a shorter, more compact version of this after I do some slight refinement where I spend 10 minutes talking through how it was constructed. But this was just like hey, messing around, build it as I build it. I'm Imran Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. I'll see you!
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat.